Diamonds in my teeth, I got a lot of shine. Running up the number, that's a lot of crime. Try to take it from me, must be out your mind. Big time, lot of slime. Smoky in the air, that's a lot of prime. Pockets running over with the dollar sign. Try to take it from me, yeah. Big time, big time, big time.
Welcome to episode 261 of Fourth and Jawn. I'm Dale Saunders here with Evan Hollywood Hearn and Mr. Prime in the building on Super Bowl Sunday. As Eagle fans, we know how it goes. You know, we won a Super Bowl recently, unlike the Cowboy fans out there, but we know what's at stake for Rams fans, for Bengals fans. You know, it's exciting to know that a fan base is going to get their first Super Bowl. So for me, I mean, because people keep asking me like, who are you rooting for? It's like I really don't care. Like whoever wins, give me a good game. I mean, there's some storylines which we'll get into that we could talk about that are some of our favorites, but I really don't care who wins today. It's just give me some good football. I just want to see a fan base get that first dub. I mean, going back to our special moments, you know, here's Prime holding his head in hand, having a moment, you know, like
thanking the Lord.
Evan with his crew down at the Super Bowl parade. You know, here's me looking at the Super Bowl ring for the first time, holding back tears. The moment, shout out to E, the moment that I knew we were going to win the Super Bowl, it was. So these moments.
What was that? What was that moment right there that was captured? Was that the strip sack? Was that the Hail Mary?
Yeah, that's a strip sack.
Okay.
Yeah. So I mean, obviously, the Super Bowl is always going to bring back memories for us as Eagle fans since it's recent, right?
That was and honestly, we had an awesome setup there too. Like as far as our experience with the Super Bowl, real cool bar to go check out. And then we were 2 blocks off of Broad Street, just right in the middle of the party. That was amazing.
So you guys ramped up for today. Are you guys excited?
It's the last day of football all year, bro. It's depressing. It's like you know, what we talk about how quickly this season comes and goes. And you know, this is the last NFL football that we have that's meaningful until September. So I'm gonna be patient with it. I'm gonna let it happen. I'm gonna bask in it, cherish it, let it soak all in, and then I'm just hoping for a good game at the end of the day. We're on the exact same wavelength. I mean, I really could care less who wins. As far as the city is concerned, the city of Cincinnati deserves it more than LA. LA, man, come on. They got beaches. They got the Lakers. They got championships falling out of their pockets. Cincinnati isn't really a city that gets to bask in the limelight very often. Obviously, their football team has been notoriously bad over their history. So for them to finally pull this off, for them to finally have legit quarterback and a top 3 wide receiver in the league, that's awesome for them. And I hope they're able to capitalize.
Yeah, first of all, you know, congratulations to both fan bases that have reached the Super Bowl. You know, I know a couple people from both sides through the super elite fan club that I'm pretty much a part of. You know, you got Ramses on the Rams side, then you got the Tiger Man on the Cincinnati Bengals side. You know, these guys definitely deserve a championship. You know, I'm rooting for Cincinnati. That's the team that I'm going with today. But you know, I gotta say that regardless, I'm happy for both sides. You know, I mean, you got OBJ, you got Stafford. I keep on saying that. Stafford, and then you got, you know, Joe Burrow, and then you got Chase. Cincinnati Bengals fan base, you know, like you said, Evan, they definitely they put a lot of effort. You know, they kind of remind us of us. You know, they go hard for their team. So, you know, it'd be nice to see Cincinnati win it. LA, you know, like mentioned, it's a championship city that keeps on falling with championships. They go above and beyond to go ahead and do whatever they got to do. They'll go ahead and sell the whole farm just to go ahead and win the championship. So, you know, I that's the reason why I'm kind of like rooting for Cincinnati. You know, they're just regular fan bases that stuck with their team through worse times, and then here they are, deserving of a championship today. So it'd be nice to see.
It kind of brings it to an interesting discussion. You talk about a Bengals squad that has developed through the draft. Essentially, talking about getting their quarterback, talking about getting their, 3 wide receivers that are killer, adding some pieces throughout, but not a really big free agent destiny. So then you go across the map and you got LA, who has truly invested their draft capital in trades. Like they said, you know what, set it and forget it. I don't care. We're not drafting. We're getting dogs, like whether it be Jalen Ramsey, getting what's his name, edge rusher from the Broncos, Von Miller.
Having Aaron Donald's on the front line. Yeah,
they've through their draft capital in that way. So you're talking about 2 different paths to getting to a Super Bowl. Giving up the draft capital for also Matt Stafford as well.
Right.
So it's kind of people like, what does it take to get to a Super Bowl? Well, you're seeing 2 teams, different paths, make it to the Super Bowl in different ways.
You got 2 formulas to be able to get there for sure. And whether or not, whatever team wins, I guess, is the more effective formula. But if you're looking at the macro scope of this and you're looking long term, I mean, the Bengals are set up for years to come. Their cap situation is great. I mean, they have a team that has made it to the Super Bowl this year, and they have like the 3rd most cap space this offseason.
Well, not only the cap space, I mean, they're very young too.
And they're very young. Exactly. They got guys on rookie deals as well.
Yeah.
So then you look at the other side of this, and you got the Rams. So they've got veterans on, 2nd, 3rd deals, and they are paying out the nose right now for their contracts, and they are not going to be able to retain all these guys when it comes to this offseason. So they're going to have to figure it all out again. The Bengals are way, way better set up in the long term than the Rams are. But, if the Rams get a Super Bowl out of this, it's worth it, in my opinion.
I mean, those two 1st-round picks, I remember back in the day, we had a pod, I was just like talking about Ramsey. I'm like, yo, he was worth it. Like, to me, he was worth it. I'm like,
exactly.
That would have been Andre Dillard and Jalen Reagor for us if we traded those picks. But again,
wow. Looking back on that,
it is what it is. Shout out to Mel. He says, once Bengals get their O-line taken care of, they should be good for years to come. Also Mel said, my guys, you all got your bets in. I'm not really a betting man.
Either am I. I used to be a heavy betting man, and then I just appreciated my money too much to give it up. Give it away.
I don't know. I might dip into some of that later on today. As soon as we get off of here, I might.
Ain't nobody got no boxes or anything that you can join?
My company was complaining that not enough people got in on the box game. I'm like, this is a company-sponsored event. You're mad that we're not paying you back the money that you paid us? I was like, get lost, dude.
I'm actually in 3 at my job, so yeah. And the odds are pretty good on my end, man. I got a 3 and 6. I forgot which set, where it's set up at, but 3 and 6 is a good possibility for a win.
For me, like let's go through just around the table here, and like, what is your favorite thing about the Super Bowl when the Eagles aren't in it? Like for me, I'm looking forward to. We've got so much food that we are picking up today for just 2 people. We got a bunch of food, bunch of beer. I can't wait to just pig out all day long. We got it lined up. What are you guys looking forward to?
I'm all about the spread. That's what Evan said.
I'm about the spread, bro.
I think I'm about sometimes it's the vibes for me. It's like, you get to like, for me, usually I would always have like a birthday Super Bowl since they pushed it back a little bit. Yep. I used to always have a birthday on my on Super Bowl. I had my ice cream cake. It was very traditional. Mm-hmm. Family would show up. Always a great time. But I'm just looking forward just to, the commercials. Hopefully they're funnier than normally. Like because we've had Super Bowl commercials that have been amazing in our past, like the Michael Jordan, Larry Bird one. I'm trying to think what other one.
I used to love the Bud Bowl, man. Bud Bowl I used to always look forward to the Bud Bowl. This might be before your time, Evan. But
I don't remember the Bud Bowl.
Man. What's up? Yeah. And me and Prime were talking earlier before the show about like, the last time the Bengals were in the Super Bowl, and I was like, "Yo, did you remember that?" And then we had like a
Was it
brief
the
second.
80s?
Yeah, we had a brief
89.
second, and then we were like, you know what? Evan wasn't even born. Before that. Like you don't even remember that. And
It was
like
89
89 against San Francisco 49ers.
against the
Joe Montana,
49ers.
man.
You talk about Montana, who was like, the 80s version of Brady, unstoppable. He had this amazing comeback. And there's a story they talk about. Joe Montana is in the huddle.
He had Rice by 89, didn't he?
Taylor and Rice.
Yeah. So he's in the huddle. This is to win the game. Like the game is on the line, and he's like, and everyone's like kind of nervous. And he says to the team, he's like, "Hey, look, there's John Candy in the crowd or some shit." I think it was John Candy. Like it was like they got to drive to win the Super Bowl, and Joe Montana's like, "Oh, look, guys, there's John Candy in the crowd." Like that's how cool he was. Drove the field. They won the game. I think one thing people might remember is I think it was Tim Crumry broke his leg that game. It was like a gruesome break on the Super Bowl, so that was interesting for back in the day. Mm-hmm. AJ says she'll be spreading. she'll be sitting on the couch. If
I don't think she thought about that wording when she said that.
If I'm reading correctly, she'll be sitting on the couch today.
Unless Dallas Goedert's coming over, maybe.
What else? What other moments do you remember from that Super Bowl?
Yeah, I mean, like I said earlier, the Bud Bowl was definitely something to look forward to. It was red against the blue. Commercials, the spread. I mean, like I can't really say too much on the spread because this is just something that we're accustomed doing every football Sunday. So it was just like, we're already used to that. But this year, that halftime show is what I'm definitely looking forward to. Man.
Oh,
I'm definitely looking forward to that halftime show, man. I'm souped about that one. So that's one on my books.
Interesting.
Who's so do they have a set list order yet of like who's
Dr. Dre, Eminem, Mary J.
Blige?
Who's
going first?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, who should go first? I mean, that's the thing. Like
it doesn't even matter, bro.
I
think Dr. Dre will start first.
You think Dr. Dre opens?
I think they even got that on fan sports. Who starts the show?
I was kind of thinking that Snoop Dogg and Dre close it. I was thinking more Mary J opens.
There's a bet for everything.
Yeah,
there is a bet for everything.
Orlando says the commercials are cool. Some are corny.
For sure. And there's always like I feel like Budweiser is guilty of it a lot. Is like they always try and pull the dog angle. Listen, I love dogs, but like for your commercial to invest millions of dollars every year, and all you're doing is showing some cute puppies on screen. Like, come on, put some more thought into it. You know what I mean? Like there's other commercials that are really, really good, and then they just fall back on let's just show some puppies and drink beer. Like that's
I like to mention that today they're going to also start showing some new movies that are going to be coming out. So I'm looking forward to that.
This guy, the movie, the official movie buff.
Prime seen every movie post 1980, bro.
Listen, DC's coming out with some new movies, so I'm looking forward to seeing the highlights on that.
We have Mr. Cross in the building. He says, "I'm taking the Bengals and the over for the win." Okay,
I like it.
Todd is happy up. Early this morning. This is early. Hey man, we Super Bowl's here. We're getting a quick show out, just talking. It's a weekend. I got my coffee. Still haven't even woke up yet. But that's where we're at. Let's see.
I don't start my my regular shift until 2 p.m. So this is being around in the morning.
Are you going to be done? Are you going to be done in time for the Super Bowl?
What do you mean? I was talking about like what
your daily routine. Got you.
Mr. Goldhammer says, "I'm only watching the game to see the halftime show if the Doctor Strange trailer is coming." Okay.
Hey, you see, told you.
Shout out to Christopher. He congratulations on the new house in the Philadelphia area. He moved up from the South back to the Philly area, so he's excited.
Todd, I'm not sure. Todd, are you joking right now? Is this Tupac Hologram?
Didn't they had a Tupac Hologram?
Yeah, they've had it before. I didn't know they'd be pulling it out for the Super Bowl though. That was cool. I remember when that video came out of like Snoop Dogg was rapping with the hologram of Tupac. That was actually pretty cool. How they like were going back and forth with it.
That'd be funny if he came back and he was talking crap.
Well, I mean, now that Snoop Dogg, Snoop Dogg bought Def Records, I mean, it's a possibility.
Yeah,
like the Get Money rant that he went on. That Get Money. That in hologram form, that would be cool. But what would be cool? Obviously we're talking the Super Bowl. We're also going to be talking about Jason Kelce. We're also going to be talking about Russell Wilson rumors. But before we do that, let's go over some of your favorite people in the chat. Your favorite storylines for the Super Bowl. I got one. Let's see. Andrew Whitworth. If the Rams win, Andrew Whitworth goes out winner against his old team.
He spent a lot of time in the league too, man.
Didn't he get the Walter Payton Player of the Year too? Right? Shout out to talk about Andrew Whitworth. He's been going long since I thought like Jason Peters played for a long time. Whitworth out here looking like someone's granddad.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Did you guys catch that story at the awards the other night on how he used to go? I think it was to a boys and girls club or a boys club. Ran into one of these kid players that had a storyline about coming up in the neighborhood, and then he ran into Whitworth. Told him, "Look, man, I'm looking to go ahead and make the NFL one day." And then, long and behold, that same kid made it to the NFL, was in the crowd there to support him that night. I thought that was a pretty cool storyline to hear about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I also had how about this one? Eric Weddle coming out of retirement
to win the Super Bowl.
To play in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
That would be kind of crazy.
That would be kind of crazy for sure. That he was actually brought up on Philadelphia sports radio the other day. They were talking about bringing JJ Redick back to the Sixers and an Eric Weddle
I do it.
role. Yeah.
I do it.
Yeah.
I would.
Pull him out of retirement.
All right, now the way things are set up, why not?
Yeah.
Why not?
I think for me, just like personally, what I like about the Super Bowl is it's two very likable quarterbacks for me. So like Matt Stafford is a guy that he went through the gauntlet in Detroit, was never given any help aside from one of the greatest wide receivers of all time. They never had a complete team in Detroit. So he's a guy that I feel like has earned it at this point in his career. And Joe Burrow is a guy that I just love to watch, man. I love Joe's swagger. I love how he has come into the league and really has not missed a beat. He is the real deal, every sense of it. And either one of them, I would be really happy to watch. Because Joe Burrow wins, it's like, okay, we're in the dawn of a new era. Like this is like the Pat Mahomes, Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert, like taking over the NFL as like the pinnacle of QBs. But if Matt Stafford wins, it's a feel good story. Dude has fucking put in a lot of work throughout his career.
Yeah, I mean, lately the whole comparison about titling some of these quarterbacks as the next Tom Brady. The crazy part about it is like you see this kid, he's a stud. He's coming into the NFL only his second year, made it to the Super Bowl, doing the things that he's doing. Comeback player of the year. I mean, after that ACL injury last year, and then to come back to go ahead and take his team to the Super Bowl is tremendous, man. So it's just the same. Like he's just not getting as much credit as some of these other quarterbacks. But I mean, that's the future right there. The way this kid is playing, he could be, considered as the next Tom Brady. Who knows?
I really think that there is this stigma that surrounds Cincinnati. I think that is why he doesn't get the respect that he deserves so much, is because it's as simple as him playing in Cincinnati. It's a small market. They're notoriously one of the worst teams in the NFL. Like pretty much the entire time I was growing up as a child, aside from the Chad Johnson era, the Bengals are trash, man. Like they were trash for the past 20 years or so. Like it's been a rough going. So I think that they don't get any respect just based off of how bad they've been. I think they got to kind of crawl out of that that kind of basement the same way that Jacksonville did a few years ago. But even now, Jacksonville's back to the pit.
Yeah. Shout out to my old offensive coordinator at Western Connecticut State, Bob Schrace. He was a assistant offensive coordinator underneath Marvin Lewis for like years, and I'm like, bro, like you just go to a better situation. He was there forever. I believe he's at Princeton now. But I was just like, now the Bengals are out there. Like I even heard Ocho Cinco talking about like how proud he is to wear Bengals stuff. Because they Bengals were good back then. They just didn't get over the hump. But man, listen.
At least we don't got Todd rapping at the Super Bowl halftime show, because I'm not so sure they actually rhyme. Bengals and Eagles.
Bengals rhymes with Eagles, so I'm going. I don't know about that. I know what brownies you're on this morning, Todd. But we love to have you. This other storyline, which is kind of cool. I mean, there's not too many people to actually do this, but let's see. If the Bengals win the Super Bowl, Joe Burrow will have won the Heisman, a Super Bowl, and a national championship in 3 years. I mean, you know how cool you got to be to douche? First of all, this photo is epic.
I know. Dude, when that photo first came out, I kind of felt like he was a tool. if I'm keeping it 100, I was like, this is kind of like.
That's why they call Joe Shiesty, man.
I'm saying,
but I love him now, man. Like I just thought, like when that came out, I was like, it's a little much. You're like 19, dude. Take it easy.
Hey, listen, man. It's the swag. It's the swag.
Man won a Heisman and a Natty, and he doesn't have a right to smoke a cigar.
He has every right, man. He has every right.
and might be now champion by the end of the night.
And beat Mahomes.
And I honestly think beat
Mahomes.
He obviously has a much better squad this year than he did last year, but I'm really interested. We'll never know, but how far he could have gotten had he not gotten injured last year. I'm not saying I think he would have made it to the Super Bowl, but for him to have even just won a playoff game last year, get in the playoffs and win a game, I think would have been very impressive considering the team he had around him. Didn't have Jamar Chase yet, had probably even a worse offensive line than he currently has, which is really bad.
Yeah. And I saw Joyce brought up a comment about OBJ. OBJ is about to have a child. OBJ's expected OBJ's baby is expected any minute now. Will he show up today? I think the baby's gonna have to wait.
Tough, dude. That's tough.
It is tough, but I know OBJ, he gonna be there.
Yeah,
he made it clear. I mean, he posted it on social media the other day. He was like, "I'm not done. I got one more." So he's gonna be there.
So I mean, put yourself in OBJ's shoes. Now, Evan, are you playing or?
Listen, man, I'm a big believer that fathers should be there for the kids, but it's your first Super Bowl, bro. Listen, that's not a everyday father. You know what I mean? That's a dad that's pulling in tens of millions of dollars that's fucking playing in his first Super Bowl ever in his career. Might not get back there. Like I talked about how like the Rams how they're set up right now with their cap. Who knows? He might not get back there. You got to play, bro. I mean,
you're live streaming the birth. Okay, Evan's live streaming the birth. No. Prime, live streaming for you, just you, wifey's live.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Prime, you've been through this situation before in real time. Would you? I mean, you've witnessed the birth of your children. It's an amazing thing 3 times. So I mean, would you pass up that moment? I know wifey might be watching. Would you pass up the moment
and this is being recorded so your kids can watch this in the future as well?
It's cool, man. It's cool, but I have no problem explaining to them. It's like hey, the Super Bowl can only come one time in experience. You're going to be around for the rest of my life, so I'm gonna go ahead and be at that Super Bowl game. I'll make up that one day within all the years that I got with you.
I'm a football guy. Sorry to wifey, but I'm a football guy. I'd have to be there.
Yeah. There's dude. Like it's one thing. It's one thing if it was a regular season game. If it's a regular season game, I could be like, all right, you know what? I'm sitting this game out. It's week 5. My wife's having a kid. Good luck to you guys. I'm heading to the hospital. We're talking about the Super Bowl, man. It's
Orlando-
all or nothing time.
Orlando saying Super Bowl over the baby. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm winning the Super Bowl for you, kid.
Exactly.
Shout out to Paul from London. He said, I would play, but if I get the call that the baby's coming, then I will leave and go see the birth.
Wow.
So you're taking an Uber at halftime.
You could imagine that? Like that, I would love a camera crew to follow that just in itself. Like, I'm leaving the Super Bowl right now. I'm getting in an Uber and I'm going to the hospital. Like, you know what I mean? Like, what a change of atmosphere.
Wifey tears down the man cave.
Hey, man, it is what it is. Hey, it is what it is. Like, these situations don't come around too often. Think about, shout out to Dan Marino, like going back to the Senior Bowl experience, sitting next to Dan Marino. I'm like, I'm looking at him, I'm like, man, this is Dan Marino. And then the immediate thought I have, I'm like, bro was so good, never had a Super Bowl. And that's kind of foul because I'm sitting there like, it's Dan Marino, but so good, never won a Super Bowl. So this moment of talking about getting here, like Matt Stafford played in Detroit for so damn long, dude. Like I thought he was a real one for staying. Yeah. Kept signing contracts. I'm like, they say it's cold in the D. He stayed there forever. And now he hit the sunny side of Cali. And now he's at the back end of his career, has the chance to win a Super Bowl in, their own stadium. That's kind of.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to give respect to that, man, because he dedicated himself to that city, and he kept on signing contracts just to stay there, and pretty much was telling the front office, like, look, I'm dedicated to this organization and I want to win. But they didn't give back. They obviously didn't surround him with a good team. You know what I mean? So he played all these years and it got to the point where it's like, hey,
they gave him Calvin Johnson. They said, figure it out.
But I gave you all this time and I haven't gotten nothing in return. Hey, look, now I got to think about myself. So deuces, I'm out.
They should have got Calvin Johnson out of retirement, and Eric Weddle, just because,
Yeah.
So this
I would like to have seen Larry Fitzgerald sign on a squad just late, just to get him a ring. You're talking about guys that, like, when you were talking about Dan Marino and how good he was, and just your first thought is he never won a ring. Like, that's kind of where my mind goes with Larry Fitzgerald. Is just that, like, this dude was so fucking good in his career, one of the best wide receivers of all time, and he had garbage thrown to him for 60-70% of his career.
Listen, that's what LA is known for. Go ahead and do whatever they got to do to win the championship. So why not bring everybody back? Give them the opportunity to win one.
So that brings me to my next question. If Matt Stafford wins the Super Bowl, is he in the Hall of Fame discussion?
I think so. I think if you just look at the longevity he's had in the league, if you look at his time spent with Calvin Johnson, obviously Calvin helped pad his passing yard stats, but you need two to tango. He's been in the league for 13 years. He's been a really good quarterback. He's thrown over 5,000 yards a bunch of times. And if he wins the Super Bowl, then he'll have as many Super Bowls as a lot of other guys in the NFL that in the Hall of Fame that I think is, probably not as on the same level. So, yeah, I think he gets it.
Zach is praising you for your F-bomb love.
Hey, man, you can take the man out of the kitchen. You can't take the kitchen out of the man.
I think he'd still have to put up another solid year and get some more playoff wins. This is his first time getting playoff wins, if I'm correct, right?
Yeah. So I'm not with the whole discussion just as of yet. He wins it. Hey, that's cool, but yeah, I don't see us talking about him being a Hall of Famer just yet.
Speaking of Hall of Famers, while we're here, there's this guy. You might know him as the second most important Eagle in your heart, Evan, and Jason Kelce. Talking about Hall of Famers. Talking about all indications point to him coming back. So as an Eagle fan, you have to be excited about just hearing the idea of this Hall of Famer coming back. But okay, if this Hall of Famer was thinking about retirement, which, as we all get old, we start thinking about retirement.
I'm thinking about it now. I'm 27.
So I mean, what kind of situation? What kind of situation do you think? I mean, we're all talking hypotheticals here.
Mm-hmm.
Have at it. Have your own theories. If you're Jason Kelce, what would make you want to retire after this year? Like if he, if there was what stipulations have to be right for you to come back if he was thinking about retiring this year?
If we drafted a quarterback, I'm looking at a rebuild, and that's the direction the Eagles want to head. If I'm Jason Kelce, I want to play 1 year. I want to win now, and I don't want to be a part of a rebuild season. So drafting a quarterback would make me retire.
Okay, hold that thought, because I know you're going to go in another part of that. Prime, what would make if you're Jason Kelce, what would make you come back in a situation that you're thinking about retiring? What would make you come back?
I don't think there's any other option but the whole rebuild. I mean, if you're going to go ahead and go down the rebuild road, I would definitely go ahead and retire. I mean, why go ahead and put all this time and effort for the rebuilding? I put all this time to be where we are at now, and to start all over again, I'm not going to go ahead and put my body through all that. So I'm done after that. But, if there's, stipulation of something else happening down the line, I'll come back 1 more year.
Now, do you think that rapport is so strong with this team where he thinks this team can get them over the hump into the playoffs, deep in the playoffs? Or is it something that we've been talking about? Russell Wilson, a Russell Wilson trade? Do you think you guys? I mean, Evan's face. Oh, my bad.
I like it a lot more than Deshaun Watson. Yeah, dude, Russell Wilson's one of those guys that I've been talking about that, like, I would not be opposed to. Like, how can you be opposed to bringing Russell Wilson into this offense? I get, like, there's people out there that are all in on Jalen Hurts. I'm all in on Jalen Hurts this next season. But we're talking about a guy who's won a Super Bowl. We're talking about a guy who is in MVP conversation year after year. This is a guy that can prove and run an offense. He's got a good arm. He's got the intelligence. He's got the legs. He's everything you want in a quarterback. And so if he's there, I think that Kelce would stick around. That's not a rebuild to me. If you're going out and getting Russell Wilson, you're in win now mode. That's not a rebuild.
No, that's definitely not a rebuild, man. That's a boost. It's the truth. It's a boost. You bring that man to this team. Yeah, I'm all in, man. I'm definitely willing to come back 1 more year.
Sierra, bro.
Now Bobby says trading for a QB is the next conversation, huh? I mean, it's obviously the conversation that's been on the timeline. Like, obviously, there was a situation where Albert Breer was asked on he takes questions on his Sports Illustrated. So the question right here was posed to him. Albert Breer on the Russell Wilson. He said, from David Crumlow, where would you expect Russell Wilson to play in 2022? David, my sense is all of that remains in flux, and Wilson is open to exploring his options. As I see it, Seahawks owner Jody Allen is the X factor. I've heard she's for keeping Wilson, which wouldn't exactly be a wild train of thought for an owner. The question has been how badly and what it'll mean if Wilson eventually becomes more forceful about seeking a new home. Meanwhile, from a team building standpoint, it's fair to surmise that this might actually be an ideal time to move Wilson while he's still relatively young. And then he went on to say that he thought that the NFC East is where he might best fit, and that would be with the Eagles. So, he was in early on the Carson Wentz movement. It was funny because I at the Senior Bowl, I was at a bar randomly, and I saw Ian Rappaport and all like Ian Rappaport, Albert Breer, and I was just like, I would love, because we're on this side of the bar, and then Albert Breer and Ian Rappaport on that side of the bar, and it was a small gathering. So I'm like, I would just love to be in that conversation. What the hell are they talking about?
Yeah.
And I saw Jeff McClain over there as well. I don't know if he was wanting us in his circle, but we were over there. We were there. We were invited there. So, I mean, we're there. But I was just like, what are they talking about? I would love to hear what the scoop that they're talking about. But obviously, you know, then we started seeing all the memes and all the uniform changes with Russell Wilson this week. And, you know, I mean, I think it does spark a lot of conversation, though.
How can he not get you excited, man? Russell Wilson, you bring Russell Wilson in, that makes a team that's already been in the playoffs that much more real of a team.
Now, AJ says we need to develop Hurts first. I mean,
Why?
that's I mean, that's where you do you feel like the organization is in develop mode, like I'm patient here, or do you think windows open?
I think
make
that
a move on a QB.
if you don't make a move on a QB, then you need to develop Hurts. I think if you go out and get Wilson, why do you need to develop Hurts? You got to develop the quarterback. What do you need to develop Hurts for?
And in past history, you know, Howie is not patient enough to go ahead and have a quarterback develop. Now, we've talked various shows on we're all in for Hurts to go ahead and be developed, but it's not our choice at the end of the day. You know, it's not going to go that way. Howie doesn't have that mentality when it comes to developing a quarterback. So, and like I said, Carson messed that up because he put all that time and effort to get Carson developed, and look what happened. So I don't see him doing that back to back. That's just the truth.
If we end up developing Hurts and then getting Wilson as well, though, like Hurts isn't the long-term guy. So you could develop Hurts and eventually trade him, but like I'm not saying that that's a bad move. I think that would be good, but at the same time, my main focus is Wilson. If we get Wilson, Hurts he's Nate Sudfeld to me. It's irrelevant.
And it's funny because like we didn't like we're not like when people are like, oh, you're bringing up this trait. We're like, no, this is what's being talked about on the timeline. So we have to like it's the you know, elephant in the room. So I mean, you talk about it, and the fact that you hear rumors, like someone's told me, like I'm not gonna. They're like, go ahead and go buy the Wilson jersey. I was like, shut up. I was like, they're like, go buy the Wilson jersey. I'm like, okay. So here we are waiting and seeing what the hell's gonna happen. I know it's Super Bowl day, but we're talking about stuff like this because we're Eagle fans. Eagle podcast. We have to talk about what's being talked about on the timeline. Let's see here. Weird conversation.
Hey, it's gonna be an interesting day.
Hey, we're just keeping it real, man. Mark says gotta upgrade the wide receivers if Wilson comes to Philly. Definitely, you know, just I'm hearing
we gotta upgrade the wide receivers, period.
Regardless, but I gotta chime in on this because I mean we got a couple of studs that are actually on our squad. I mean, we got Watkins, we got Smith. Okay, you got, you know, guys that actually do play the position, and if you have a quarterback that could go ahead and make them look good, I think we'll be fine. I mean, yeah, we definitely want to go ahead and add another receiver to the squad, but you get rid of Rager. You know how I feel about Rager. Rager's got to go. All right. Mm-hmm. And you stay with Smith, Watkins, and then, you know, you got a couple other guys, and you got to make an upgrade on another free agent wide receiver. I think we'll be fine. You got Dallas as well. Utilizing these wide receivers the right way, I think Wilson will come in here and make that happen. Yeah.
There's a lot of wide receivers that are available. This
there is, and then there's also
some in the draft. Like these are, you could fill them. Yeah.
Shout out to Joe. He's saying OBJ talk. I've heard OBJ talk, and the other person that I've heard is Juju Smith-Schuster coming in. So that's not it is what it is, but like it's talk. Heather says, I think getting Wilson adds to the locker room drama, though. Old dude coming in, taking the guy's spot who's roughed it out all year. I think it's twist the vibe we're already building.
That's the business, baby. That's just what it is. So someone comes in that's better than you. They got the job.
It's nothing new to us. Come on now.
But anyways. No, but I saw the comment from Bobby as well, and this is a comment that you've heard. Like it's like the same argument becomes a a thing,
Mhm.
cross-platform or whatever, or on
That-
talk radio. We're not just a QB away. Now, if you think that's statement right there, do you think the Rams thought they were a QB away when they brought in Stafford?
No, but they also traded for Von Miller afterwards.
Yeah, I mean, and then they got Wilson, and I mean, they went and got Von Miller, and they got OBJ, and they made moves
and brought Eric Weddle back. So I mean, there were moves that were made, and that's just
And-
the thing.
They had a QB, Jared Goff, in who they invested high draft capital,
First pick overall.
and they developed him. And
Mhm.
I think Sean McVay got to a point where, Jared Goff did make some statements about his
Wife.
his wife as well.
Speaking of which, Sean McVay talking about retirement. Did you hear about that?
Really?
Yeah. He said there was a story that came out this week that he's talking about after the Super Bowl, he's considering just spending more time with his family and potentially going into broadcasting.
That sounds as crazy as him becoming Georgia Player of the Year over Calvin Johnson.
Wow.
Did you know that?
No.
Yeah, when Sean McVay was the quarterback in high school, he got Player of the Year over Calvin Johnson of all people.
Wow.
6 degrees of separation, Matt Stafford. But yeah, I mean,
is that fake news? Maybe I'm spreading fake news.
Check it out,
I don't know. Jonas there saying I'm spreading fake
oh, that's fake news.
No, that me saying that he's retiring.
Nick Ray's retiring. That's fake news.
I'm just saying what I saw.
AJ, we are on TikTok. I made a TikTok account. I don't know how to use it. I just know I've always had it. We're gonna get Prime on there doing some dances with this, and Evan making cheesesteaks. Try to figure it out. I'm meeting with TikToker soon to figure some things out.
It's on and popping now.
It's not fake news, by the way, Joe. Google it. Joe.
Like Evan just did. Don't come at Evan like that, man.
Congrats on Coach Vermeil.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Into the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird how Eagle fans forget about him.
I mean,
he's older
Evan,
Eagle fans.
Evan's like who?
Now they do have a banner up on 95 right now. You can drive by it and see.
Yeah.
See,
But
they actually got one here in Jersey too.
Let's see. Any other talk that's coming up? Talking about bringing people in here. The beard is here. This is official. I mean, we're talking about. This city has been longing for a championship for the Sixers. If you're not young, if you're old enough, you saw one. I saw one back in '83. I was very young. But the fact,
James Harden, bro.
But not even James Harden right now. Embiid, that's not even a photo of Embiid. Embiid is playing out of his mind.
Yes,
he is.
And 40-point triple-double last night.
Yes, he is.
Out of his mind, and then you're gonna add the beard into this.
Yeah, you're adding a top 5 NBA player.
I saw
for a guy that vowed to never play again.
I saw he touched down last night. I was kind of hoping that he'd make an appearance at the game last night, but that didn't happen.
I know it would have been nice to have him ring the bell.
Ring the bell, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Come on in and ring the bell.
But I'm looking forward to, because honestly, last night I was nervous about the games this weekend because obviously in the trade we lost our guys, but we also didn't receive James Harden or Millsap yet, so we were on a real short roster, and we were able to win both games this weekend.
Yeah, those
pretty much
boys.
Nobody on the backs of Joel Embiid, and now I watched both games this weekend, just sitting there thinking like, oh my God, I can't imagine what this floor is going to look like when we inject James Harden into this, but it's insane, dude. It's so exciting.
Can you hear Evan? Okay. Elena, she speaks the same sentiments as my dad in Orlando. I told my dad the trade happened. He's like, and then like 3 hours later, he didn't realize Curry was in the trade. My dad's like, wakes up from that. Son, I didn't know they put Curry in the trade. I don't like that, son. I'm like that.
Yeah.
Curry, it's cool. Curry's gone, but
People are complaining too, saying that James Harden's old. It's like he's 1 year older than Seth Curry. About the role player that you're upset that we traded.
hey, man, at the end of the day, man, like you're getting a player who
He's a superstar.
Yeah, and that's what I'm ready to see this combination get put to work, man.
bro, like I'm telling you, man, like I think I needed this kind of energy. Like my whole family is excited. You know, they watch every single Sixers game anyway, like religiously. Everything's scheduled around the Sixers game, but like everyone is now on
Let me ask you guys this question. So I think it's all fair to say. I mean, it's been a talked about thing the past few days, but March 10th is when Ben Simmons comes back to the Wells Fargo Center. What is the Eagles equivalent of Ben Simmons returning to the Sixers? Like, who is that player in Eagles history that once he returns, like, oh my God, I can't wait for him to come back so I could boo him?
It's got to, I think, because it's recent, it's got to probably be Wentz.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, not yet. We haven't experienced that yet. But I mean, it goes back to your question. Are we talking about, past, or are we talking about are we getting ready for Wentz's return? Because if I'm going to go ahead and pick one, I'm going to say Donovan.
Oh yeah, when he was with Washington.
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
When he came back, I remember because I was at that game. We booed the shit out of him.
T.O. as a Cowboy.
Oh yeah, that's another one. I
know. D-Jax got a boo, and then I put that up on Twitter, and then his mom quickly added me. I was like, "Hey, I'm not booing. He's one of my favorite players. I'm just saying, Gail, because we also share the same name."
Now, current, yes. I mean, that Wentz return is going to be. That's going to be bad.
Joy says T.O. Joe says
I don't feel the same way about T.O. though, because I was upset that the Eagles fumbled the bag on that one. Like, I don't view that as so much as T.O.'s fault. Whereas this Simmons thing, I'm like, yo, this is all on him.
So so it definitely wasn't his fault, but the fact that he signed with the enemy, that's where it just kicked in.
But let me ask you this then. So when Deshaun Jackson, I got to be honest. Do you remember the Deshaun Jackson score against us? He was on Washington, and then he goes into the end zone flapping his wings. I was like, you know what? We deserve that. We deserve that punch in the face. I was not mad in the slightest that he did that. I was like, we had that coming.
True. I mean, the fact that the whole gang ties thing, which still needs to be a 30 for 30. Mm-hmm. How the hell has no one even spoke on this in depth with analysis? Like you could do. I would watch that 30 to 30 in a heartbeat.
For sure.
Joyce says Malcolm Jenkins. I don't think so. I think he's still loved.
Still gets love. Oh yeah.
He still lives here, doesn't he? Does he? Does he have a house?
I would be surprised if he has a house here still. Yeah.
Imagine if Malcolm comes back. Are we all for that?
I think his family's still here.
Yeah.
I think his family's still here.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. I thought as much as I hated to see D-Jax score on us, I'm like, yo, I love that. I love that dude, man. That dude is his skill set is like unmatched. Like no one burns the league for years.
And that's when he went into the end zone flapping his wings like that. I looked at that and I was like, he's pissed that he's not on the Eagles. That's why he's doing that. It's not like an FU. It's like a how could you let me go type thing. And I'm like, you know what? You're dead right, bro. Like, how am I going to be mad at you for that? You're absolutely right.
Well, Todd was he said it hurt to see D-Jax in a Skins uniform. I was sitting in a Louisiana prison system when we cut D-Jax. That was the worst. Tough times. But here you are flying high, and we got to party with Todd down in Tampa.
Nice.
Shout out to Todd and his mom. I believe that was his mom.
It was awesome having T.O. though for the small cup of coffee that we did.
But how about
that was the espresso shot.
But how about T.O. coming back in that Super Bowl off like a broke leg, like 6 weeks after?
Yeah.
What was it?
Yeah,
6 weeks after his ankle was broke.
After breaking his leg, yeah. insane. And then putting up like huge numbers too.
Yeah.
Oh, what is he, an X-Men? What is he, like Wolverine?
He's just a top 3 wide receiver of all time, is all.
He did like a documentary of him healing that time too. I mean, he had that bag, that little sleeping bag that he was always in every night. Like, yeah, it was.
Where do you rank T.O.? Above or below Randy Moss?
Oh, below.
Below.
Oh,
I mean,
would T.O. be number 3 on your list then? Is Randy 2? All-time wideouts?
Jerry Rice being number 1?
Obviously.
Yeah, I like that lineup.
Yo, Randy Moss is on another level. Showed up to a tailgate, which is still, I can't believe that one. Shout out to Puga. He's wide awake in El Paso, in Texas. I said El Paso. He's not from El Paso.
It's 10 a.m. there now. It's a normal waking hours.
Do you think T.O. can still play?
In a YMCA league. It's like
Flag
50, man. Come on.
Flag football league, man.
T.O. has a new wine out there. I sent T.O. a DM, or T.O.'s wine company a DM. I said, man, have T.O. on a show and we'll drink some Beano 81 or something.
Yeah.
Can we make that happen, guys?
We'll see, I guess. We'll see.
Yeah, I'll jump back in the DMs and shoot my shot.
Okay.
So what do you guys got planned for the rest of the day? What time Super Bowl starts?
6:30.
6:30. I got to go over to Jersey and pick up some chicken.
That's code for like green stuff?
No, it's code for chicken. green stuff's already been acquired.
Damn, Gail.
He's got the feds.
For that, he would have been like, I gotta go to Jersey, go get some seasoning.
Ev's like, I got priors, man. I got priors.
No, but I'm not sure if anybody's ever jumped on the Piccalilli train. Piccalilli, Pick 3. Some of the best fried chicken you ever have in your life. And if you live in South Jersey, check it out.
Here we go with the food talk. Piccalilli is a seasoning or a brand?
Yeah, Piccalilli is the name of the restaurant. There's 3 of them. There's the Piccalilli Inn. That's the original one. That's like in Chemung. And then there's Pick 3 in Medford. And then there's another one somewhere in South Jersey too. But yeah, the sauce is out of this world. You get the tails. You get the buffalo roll. It's essentially like a buffalo chicken cheesesteak in an egg roll. Oh.
Is that code for blunt?
Yeah. I'm gonna have the buffalo roll. Have a few fat buffalo rolls.
We're picking up on all your codes, bro.
You can't hide, bro. We're probably getting.
So whoever's watching, did you get that?
I never seen anyone roll an egg roll like that. I think I'm getting Filipino barbecue.
Ooh, how's that?
Place called Oh My in Wilmington, Delaware, right off of 202. They cook the food outside in the smoker.
Wow!
So they know us. We go every week. We spend like $100. We come in there and they're like, "We got your order."
Is this where your pops has the people working there that they all love him?
Not this place. This new spot. This opened up over the pandemic. So we roll up there. They got like Filipino food. I got the lady on text. She says, "You want some stuff off the menu?" She'll make it. Marty,
enjoy the day, Marty. I'm right behind you.
So he had some chicken and he woke up early in the morning. Puga. I just got to bring a shout out, just showing love to Puga, our favorite comedian in Texas. He said, "What do you guys think of the Russell Wilson rumors?" We spoke a lot about it earlier in the show. If you rewind, you can. But because I know Puga really loves to see Eagles Twitter in an uproar. So I see you, Puga.
Yeah, we spoke about it around 12. So when 12 o'clock hits your time, you'll get it.
Prime, what are you having on the spread?
chicken wings from a spot down the road called Antonino's. They have some good honey barbecue chicken wings that we're gonna probably hop on. Probably just stick to the regular pizza. Some little spreads that my sister-in-law makes. So probably head over to my brother's, watch maybe half of that, and then the rest here. After we're done here, though, I'm gonna go get in shape and go back to the gym for a little bit before I go and bust all this grub today.
You're going to the gym later?
Yeah, listen, I meant to go earlier, but I forgot that we had this scheduled today. So
Oh, you're going right after this?
I'm going right after this.
Oh,
yeah.
I thought you were
Hey.
saying you were going to get some shit done in the day and then you're going to go
Nah,
I don't mind.
Nah, I don't like going to the gym that late.
Yeah.
Bobby says, lay off the weed. Hey, if you guys are, we're Fourth and Jawn has become Fourth and Fat over the pandemic. So we are trying to lose some pounds. Like right now we're flexing on each other.
Yeah.
Like, yo, dude, you got to get your steps up, bro. Like, I was, the other day, I'm like, I guess the competitive nature in me. I started walking.
Listen, the minute you
last
logged
2
in, we
days.
were like, bro, you need you step up your game.
And the shit be like, look, like I log in and the shit says lazy. I'm like, F you.
Bitch.
Bitch, you ain't lazy. So I started walking. So Fourth and Fat. That's right.
Fourth is bad.
So it's all good. So hey, if you guys want to get in on the journey, if you want to log into the app and challenge us and keep us accountable, hopefully one of us hits our weight goals by the season.
We'll all hit our weight goals.
We might be fourth and slender.
You got to speak it into existence. It's the same formula.
We will be. We will be fourth and slender.
Mm-hmm.
Hey man, it's great to keep in shape. You know what I'm saying?
Weather's getting nicer.
Yeah, yesterday's weather was off the chain, man.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely got outside and did a lot.
But it's fucking snowing right now. Like that makes sense.
Hey man, shout out to you guys that stuck around in the chat. Appreciate you guys sticking around. Last words before we get at her, Prime.
Enjoy Super Bowl Sunday, man. Make sure you guys definitely stay tuned for that halftime show, because I know I will. Enjoy y'all spreads. Be safe, and you know what I mean. See you guys on the next one.
Yep.
Hoping for a exciting Super Bowl. Just would like a high scoring shootout. Hope I'm not asking for too much there. But yeah, everybody enjoy your day and stay safe. Be responsible.
Hey, appreciate you guys. Appreciate the Super Bowl. Appreciate good storylines. Appreciate good food and friends and family. Make sure you check in on your peoples. Make sure everybody's good. Enjoy the Super Bowl. Enjoy the day. Wake and bake with the chicken. Get that good stuff. And we'll see you guys in the next one.